Again, must be the week of familiar names for the final cut, as we have one for you that involves a couple of familiar names in a film that is different than what we're used to seeing them in. We're looking at Fortress of Sin. It is on Amazon Prime and Tubi now. It is brought to us by Paul Chomecki and Christian Voss, who directed this and co-wrote it with a familiar name, Dave Campfield, and all three are in front of the camera. And we get the story of Harry, who's a down and out guy. He's an alcoholic, a divorced, who his estranged daughter just shows up one day asking for money and then goes and disappears. And so he feels driven to find his daughter so they can reconnect and maybe make up for lost time. And it sends him on a trail through Nebraska's farmlands and secluded areas to track down a church that is a cult-like and that has a reputation of being the cause for missing women in the area, who are mostly Native Americans. And we see how all this plays out in dark fashion in Fortress of Sin. I'm going to tell you right now, I was not sure what to expect going into this, but it is a dark film. It is a solidly made, effective film that, yeah, while it was made on a smaller budget, they make the most of it. And just from the opening, you're pulled into this. Now, Paul Chomecki, who was in Caesar and Otto, playing a very more heavy, serious role as Harry, and I loved it. He brought so much weight to this character. You felt for him, even though you know he's screwed up. You really kind of want to hope this thing plays out good for him, and it's all the way in the performance, the sympathetic performance by Paul. I think he does very well and just gets into this character, and you can tell he was committed, and that comes across. This is a character you want to see succeed. Christian Voss plays the Ritter character. Loved seeing him and what they do with that character. And yeah, again, some creative writing in here. And while it may be a formula that you've kind of seen before, it's the performances, the editing, and just the environment of what you have, where you have things taking place, that keep it very interesting and fresh. Dave Campfield shows up in here as Mark, the hacker. Great to see him here, and he really is giving it all as well. All played straight, though. There's no comedy worked in here, which again was a bit of a surprise given the team that was putting this together, but I thought it all came off very well and hit like it was supposed to. Tara is played by Olivia Fries. She puts in a very solid performance. Robin, who is the daughter, played by Jama Bourne. Great to see her. She doesn't get a whole lot of screen time, but where she does, you feel her kind of resentment yet love for Harry. That comes across. And I loved the scenes she had with Paul. And yeah, Katie Otten playing Ayana. I love, this is a surprise character. I didn't know she was going to be in it as much as she was, and I was glad she was, because she was pretty dang badass in this. And yet, they also give her a little bit of a vulnerable side, but I did not expect her character to play such a major role, and I'm happy that she did, because she plays this with a very interesting, badass, yet subtle flair to it, that like just this very cool character who also gets to kick some ass. So yeah, I highly recommend Fortress of Sin. This is a really dark, well-made film that has a bit of a message at the end of, to bringing to light a problem that is occurring out in the plains. And I think it's worth your time. I really do, especially if you're a fan of Dave Campfields and the rest here. You should check it out. Though, again, it is a different film than what we're used to saying, but it's still a solidly crafted thriller that is worth your time. So thank you so much for watching. If you have seen Fortress of Sin, please leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your constructive thoughts on it. Like, subscribe, and all of that here as well. I thank you as always for your support. And until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.